Hello and welcome to today's review of the movie I've forgotten.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone, and episode 4 of our Studio Ghibli review series.
Hello.
And today's film is called Only Yesterday, and it was directed and the screenplay written by Isao Takahata, produced by Toshio Suzuki, music by Katsu Hoshi, cinematography by Hisao Shirai, edited by Takeshi Sayama, and it was released on July 20th, 1991, and it is based on the 1982 manga of the same name by Hutaro Okamoto and Yuko Tone, and it has a box office of 3.18 million yen and overseas of $525,958, and it has a running time of 118 minutes, which is 1 hour 58.
So, as Mark said, this is called Only Yesterday, and that's, I suppose, giving you a bit of a clue. It's about a girl called
Taiko,
a girl called Taiko, and
Okajima.
the only yesterday bit is that she reflects back on her childhood, so it's sort of one of those movies that goes back and forward, and we see her as a wee girl growing up and in school, and the whole puberty story is quite big in this, but then it shows her as an adult, but she keeps going back into her childhood, and as a counsellor, that's some of the inner child stuff that I might do, but her childhood wasn't the best. She had a very authoritarian father who could be at times physically abusive, read the paper during meal times, didn't engage with his children, and then when they didn't do what they were told, he could slap them, so not the best of guys. And the story really talks about or shows us her childhood, and then her as an adult. She's in her late 20s going off to her granny's house and really having good experiences, but also reliving some of the bad things from her childhood, and really in a way she lets go of those. During that time she sort of lets go of the bad issues as well. I don't want to spoil the story for you, but there was a nice wee line in it. There's a wee song, and it talks about, and I think it's pretty tuned into where we're at in terms of lockdown now. If today is bad, then there's always tomorrow. If tomorrow is bad, then try a little harder. Always look ahead. And I think that's in some ways good for us in lockdown. So if you are watching this movie, I think you'll enjoy that song. So I would sum it up as her reliving her childhood, and then letting go of the bad memories, and then moving into her future. And you will see that if you watch it at the end, what happens. Can I just say to you, don't switch off when the credits start.
Yes, keep watching to the very end.
Keep watching to the very end, because you will then find out what happens to her.
So some thoughts I had were that was a lot more realistic than all the previous films. This one was all just in Japan. There was no creatures.
Real life story.
Also, another thing I noticed was the scenes in the past had like a white vignette around them. Do you know what that means? Or
of course I do.
You know the way they're very bright.
Yeah.
So that was obviously, it was almost as if they were like drawings.
Like flashbacks or dreams, it seemed like too, yeah.
Realistic as in it's where it's set, but also everything's animated very realistically, the way people pick up things and they look at each other, and I really like that, and I think that's what really makes these films stands out. In a lot of animations, when there's multiple characters on screen, something that you notice is animations being repeated and background characters will be doing the same thing, but I feel like in this one, every character's animated, they're doing something different, which is really just makes you more engaged in the film and draws you in more. There's a lot of extended scenes where there's no cuts, where a character may just be looking at the floor or they're thinking into themselves for minutes on end, and it's very realistic. That's what people do in real life as well.
And you can see the difference, can't you? I watch it as a movie, Mark watches it as an editor, so you get two views here. And
as a psychologist for you,
counsellor, Counselor. So 3 dimensions maybe.
Realistic writing. A lot of the conversations are very realistic as to how they would go down in real life, and a very introspective film. She's always like internally monologuing to herself and like talking through her past and what those experiences meant.
A good counselling session, I would say.
The parents almost don't want their kids to follow him again. Taiko, she wants to become something, well, not to say but her parents don't really want her to go down that line, and it's interesting about how kids express themselves and how sometimes parents are maybe a bit too forceful in shutting those things down. I really love the ending.
Yeah,
I thought the ending was class. The way I'll not explain obviously what happens,
give it away, Mark.
but the way kind of the whole film comes together is really creative. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. So scores, what would you give the story out of 10?
Story 9 out of 10, I think. Yeah.
And then
characters, yeah, 9 out of 10 too.
And then finally
music probably about 7 out of 10. There wasn't that much music in that one, or it didn't come across. There was a lot of background music. Well, although I must say the last song was The Rose, which is a very famous song, which was sung in Japanese, so pretty poignant there. I did like that, but I'll give it 7 out of 10 for music.
I would give the story 9. I thought it was a really good story, the way everything, the past and the present, was all very connected well together. It didn't feel disjointed, because sometimes when a film goes back and forwards, you kind of lose track of what's happening. Characters, probably a 7.5. I think obviously Taiko was the main character, and she obviously had the most development, but I think the rest of them were a bit bland.
Yeah.
As compared to other films.
Well, they were very background, weren't they? Rather than prominent.
And then music, a 5, which may sound harsh, but
there wasn't a lot.
There wasn't that much music, not that it was bad. So yeah, rankings. Let's see. My original ranking before this one was 4th, Castle in the Sky, 3, Kiki's Delivery Service, number 2, Spirited Away, and first was Totoro. And what were your rankings coming into this one?
Oh, I have, mine were Spirited was 4, 3 was Castle, 2 was Kiki, and 1 was Totoro.
And what is your updated rank?
5, Spirit, 4, Castle, 3, Only Yesterday, 2, Kiki's Delivery Service, and 1 Totoro.
And my new rankings are number 5, Castle in the Sky, number 4, Kiki's Delivery Service, number 3, Only Yesterday,
we agree on that one,
number 2, Spirited Away, and number 1, Totoro.
There we go, so we've got 2 the same.
So yeah, that is our review rankings of Only Yesterday, and episode 5 will be the film Porco Rosso, which came out the year after.
So for the Easter holidays, why not catch up on one of these? Probably Kiki's Delivery Service or Totoro are good ones to start with, but see how you go. So happy Easter, everybody. Bye.
Subscribe and like if you want to. Hit the notifications bell so that you never miss an upload.
Because we're only 992 away from 1,000, are we?
Something like that. But we're only 19 away from 100.
We're not going to be famous soon, but we will be eventually.
Keep grinding. Keep grinding though. See you there.
Keep safe. Bye.